welcome to our new, very exciting video. In this video, we are going to learn about the Power Query function, Excel.workbook. Why we use this function? The aim of this function to import all Excel workbooks from folder, transform and append in a tabular form. You can see here there are some example of different workbooks. Power Query bring as a magic tool inside it, transform and then give us a nicely proper data set. So let me show you where is our all the files and how we gonna import from the folder. So we have our folders here on a desktop in a start folder, and start folder contains these 4 Excel workbooks: Berlin, Frankfurt, Hamburg and Munich, and they all have a data without any tabulation form. So and later when we have this data, okay, let's first we analyze this data with the Power Query and make some pivot reports. To bring this data in our Power Query tool, we comes here in a data tab. As I'm using Microsoft 365, so my Power Query exists in a get and transform. Other versions like 2016, 2019, Power Query also exists in a data tab as a get and transform. The lower versions 2010 and 13, the Power Query exists somewhere here in a ribbon tab. So now let's get our data from data, get data from file. From file we comes to the from folder. As we open this, it asks us folder path. Folder path, we browse. We have our data here in an Excel workbook folder, start folder. This is our data, and you can see it brings as a complete folder path, and we just click here OK. It brings us whole data, and we have 4 options. But in our previous video, when we are importing from folder at CSV files, we directly click on a combine. But now these are Excel files, so we have to transform this data. As we transform, it opens the Power Query editor, and you can see it brings the content as a binary files. We click here, you can see here it's showing a file Berlin, it's showing a file Frankfurt, it's showing Hamburg, and it's showing a Munich file. So now we have our data, and most important thing, we have to check the extensions because Power Query is case sensitive. So first we transform all the extensions as a lowercase for safe side, and these are the names from the files. So we just need a name of these files. We don't need .xlsx, so we just come here and replace the values by .xlsx with nothing. Click OK. So now we have our file names here. File names was a city name, so we just rename city, enter. Now we need only content and our city column, and rest of the columns we can get rid of. So just remove the other columns. Now we have our binary content. Here we cannot combine these our binary files. We need a one helper column because we need our data tables from the workbooks. So we comes in an add column. In a Power Query, it called custom column. So now we open the custom column dialog box, and here we give a nice name to our custom column. It's a get data, and here we comes in a formula bar, and we use our mcode function. It's called excel.workbook. So we don't make any mistake, and it's a case sensitive, so I will select this from the drop down menu, excel.workbook. open parenthesis. And it asks binary content. Yes, we need only the content from here. Put comma and give a nullable logic. Logic, we need our headers from our table. So here we write in a lowercase true and close the parenthesis. As you can see down here, it's not showing any error. It's a green check mark. So we just click OK, and you see that get data column bring our tables from binary content. So now we can get rid of content. We don't need any more binary content. So we select get data and city, right click, remove other column, and see it arrange our data in our selection order. Now we can see here in a preview it's showing us all the table headers: name, table data, items, kind, and hidden false. So all data seems in a one format. So what we gonna do, we can expand our table range. So we click on an expand button and it asks us use original column as a prefix. We just uncheck this one and click OK. So now you can see it brings us all the tables with their headers, their kind, and hidden and city names. Now here what we need again, these names are from the file names. Data is in the content what we are looking for, items. So what we need here, we need here only the data type and our city names, and rest of them we can remove. So other column, remove other columns. Now we have our data and city names, and expand the table column button, we expand our table range. It again asks and we uncheck already, click OK, and you can see it nicely bring our whole data, and all the steps are getting recorded here. So now we check the correct data type. Names should be text and not as a name, as a sales rep. Enter. Date should be in a date format. It should be in a text, and we click double click, and product sold quantity in a whole number. Amount must be in currency, and city type in a text. So now our data seems really nice, tabulated form, and we have all the 6 column what we are looking in our data. So now we are ready to import or load this data in our Excel workbook. So we come to the home tab, close and load, and close and load to. Now we have an import data box, and we load this data as a table on a new worksheet. Click OK. It brings us here whole table, and we can see here in a query connection it load our 428 rows. And you can see one thing, we have here start folder as a query name is also a start folder, and the table name is also a start folder. So 3 places we have a start folder. Now our next step is to make some nice reports from this data. So we click somewhere here inside our data table, come to our insert tab. From pivot table, it automatically detect the range of the table, and it asks here where we want to load this pivot cache. So we choose a new worksheet and we click OK. And now it is here, and I will just give the rename pivot table report. We can make here some data. We select cities and drop in a rows. Now it's giving a 4 cities name and amount of these 4 cities. Now it giving here the row label we have to change to the city. So how we comes in a design tab, report layout, show in tabular form. So now it's showing us a city report. We select this whole pivot cache by pressing Control and asterisk, Control C, and we paste somewhere here this whole cache, and we make another report by selecting the products in the city. So you can see from the city report it changed to a product city report. Again we already have selected our pivot cache range, so we paste here, And now we make another report, almost is the same but little different with the sales reps. So now you can see with the one data, we make a city report, we make the product city report, we make the sales city report with the sales representative. So like this way we can play with the data and make different reports. Now main question comes, what we have our whole data we analyzed and we get a new data, so we don't want to repeat whole process again and again. So for this, how we gonna to do, let me show you where is our new data and how we add. We have our new data here in the folder outside the start folder as a name of file born. As you can see, it's also an Excel file, and we didn't look inside how the data is. We just grab the file and drag in the start folder, and we directly go back to our Excel workbook. So now we back here in our Excel workbook, and we comes to first our data table, and we can refresh our data. How to refresh our data? We have three options. First, in the data, refresh all. Second, click in the data table, right click in the data table, and here we have a refresh option. And the third, a very small gear icon is given here. So now we use our first option as a refresh all, and we click here, and you can see query got refreshed from 428, we got 527 rows loaded. And here in the city, you can see we automatically get the born results. That's the real power of Power Query. Now we comes to our pivot table report, but still you can see pivot table report is not refreshed. This is the one thing in the pivot table, it automatically not refresh, but it only one click away. Either we click refresh here or somewhere click right click in the pivot inside pivot cache report and do a refresh. So let's do it from the main refresh all. We just click here, and you can see here our grand total is a 512, and we just click here, and now our result is changed to 557, and automatically you can see here bond result is updated, and bond result here is also updated, and bond result is here is also updated. So like this way you can update any work report. One more thing I would like to show you, somehow if you change your path, your query is not updated, so you always have to go back in your Power Query editor and always go back in the source, and here on the gear icon when you click it opens the file path. So from here, if your folder path is changed or something happens, you just need to give a correct path from here, and your query will get updated completely. So we close this one, and I hope you understand how to import by using an excel.workbook command and all the files from the folder, and how to make the pivot reports from that, and later how to update all the results without going through all the process. So if you like the video, please give it one thumbs up, and if you like to improve your Excel skills, please consider to subscribe my channel. Hit the subscribe button. It will allow you to receive the future notifications when I will upload the new videos. Thanks for watching.